California produces 90% of the wine in the United States, but my interest is to see San Diego County become an area that is known for making wine, so that there's a lot of wine tasting locations for people to experience the different wineries. Here in California, we get a lot of sunshine in Ramona, so we're able to develop the fruit to a high degree of ripeness. We don't have to pick it before rains come, usually. We can usually wait till the fruit has fully developed the acids into sugar, and it's the sugar when we make the wine that gets converted into alcohol. Usually picking at about 25% sugar in the berries. This is a Chardonnay vine which we pruned about a month ago, and already these are growing out also. Chardonnay is one of the grape varieties which tends to harvest earlier than other grape varieties, and so you can see that they get an early start on the growth period. In fact, this one you can see a little bit of the berries starting to grow right here too. When we prune, we'll separate the little arms of the fruit growing shoots about a hand length, 5 inches, something like that, apart. Some places over the years we lose it, but typically about 1 hand width. And then on each of those canes that we've cut down, we'll have maybe 2 buds left. And that limits the production. Every shoot that grows wants to develop clusters of fruit, and by keeping it to just 2 buds, which are going to grow to produce fruit, we get a higher quality crop. We have 5 acres of vines. We grow 8 different kinds of grapes, so the amount of wine that we produce for each type of grape is not very great. It's rather limited because of the number of vines. Why isn't today San Diego County full of grapevines? Prohibition was the coup de grace after the phylloxera had hit California vines in the mid-1800s to late 1800s. Phylloxera is a disease of the roots, and it was killing the vines in Europe as well as in the United States. The vineyards that had been planted here in San Diego as well as in any other location in California were basically dying because of phylloxera. And that happened basically to the European grape varieties. They don't have a natural immunity to the disease, and as a result, the vineyards in Europe were practically totally destroyed. However, the American varieties of grapes have roots which are not so subject to phylloxera, and they were grafted onto the European varieties by a Frenchman, and that wound up solving the problem. So then again, the vines could be replanted. The prohibition eliminated the ability to make and sell wine. It could only be used for sacramental purposes, and so there were a few wineries which were allowed to continue because they produce wine for the church. The Catholic Church primarily. And so after the 30s, when Prohibition was repealed, then people, had suffered so much, it took a long time for that generation to move on to something else, that the young people who didn't experience it are going forward. And he's up here. I checked earlier. He's looking right at me. Probably 8 feet in, 9, something like that. Well, I don't know if this is the female or the male, but there's usually a pair. This morning when I came in, one was up above in the rafters here and had not gone above the winery yet, and so he got a little startled and decided to fly out to an owl box that we have outdoors. I think that they prefer to have a little more room than that little box has, so we put together a larger owl box that we're going to be hanging up.
Here's something.
Isn't he?
Very cute.
There were 2 yesterday, but the other one didn't join. But their feathers, by the way, are fringed, so that's why when they fly there's no sound. Most birds have sharp edge to the end of their feathers, and you can hear them swishing as they fly past you, especially a crow is real loud. But owls' feathers are different. They're frayed at the edges, they're fluffy and fringed, and because of that it softens the movement through the air. And they're really quite large. The wingspan on a bird like that is about 42 inches. They only weigh about a pound, yet they have 42-inch wide wingspan. This is a plot map of the vineyard that I hope to create on Old Julian Highway, a place I own called Big Sky Ranch here in Ramona, just about 10 minutes outside of downtown Ramona. And it's a 125-acre property that I hope to plant grapevines where the green lines are, and those would be trellised like we have here at Lenora. It's a interest which is developing and growing. It's a resurgence essentially, because it's a clean plant to grow. It's attractive when it has its leaves. It doesn't use a lot of water. It gives you a crop which is delicious to eat, or you can make wine with it. And the techniques are very well known. It's a very critical time in the future of San Diego County's wine industry.